So tonight's roundtable, we're going to be discussing the renewal system. So as we're all aware, hopefully by now, um, it's not an annual registration anymore that's tied into rechartering. Everybody is on a 12-month registration, which means from whenever they join scouting, 12 months from that date is when they need to re-register again. Now, we're going to talk about the different ways that happens and show you the tools and the updates that they put into My.Scouting. Realize some of these tools are restricted to Key 3 or Key 3 delegates on My.Scouting. So if you think you should have that access, would be a Key 3 is a committee as the committee chair, Scoutmaster, Cubmaster, crew advisor, and the charter organization representative. Key 3 delegate is another person that they've designated to have access to those tools, and I'll show you where you add those tools in as well. So that's just one of those things you want to be cautious on because they get full access. There's not really a way to limit what areas they have access into for unit operations inside of My.Scouting for this. So, like I said, this runs for a 12-month period now. We shouldn't have anybody really coming up for probably 7-8 months right now. But there's some decisions that you and your unit are going to want to make now about what happens for this. So let's get right into, I'm right at the My.Scouting. So I've just got to get my sign in going here, and apparently I have one too many screens sitting up. Okay. So again, I'm going to be moving into some different screens. Not all of my screens will look the same as yours just because of my registration area. So when we look at My.Scouting getting into here to begin with, we can come up here to the menu, and then we've got these things down here. And then anything you've used recently as a tool will be here. Now, depending on your registration, you may, this kind of usually sits to what your primary is. So my primary is as council commissioner. So that's where mine defaults to all the time. And these are council level tools, which a lot of these exact same thing that you have. They just look different. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick on a random unit. Oh, I don't know. We'll pick on the unit that my wife is the scoutmaster for. So if you only have a pack, troop, or crew registration, you will default to this as your unit number on here. The only time it'd be anything different, again, if you're having a multiple registration in other areas, and then you just select the one that you want. So where we're going with this to begin with is I'm going to go right into Organization Manager. So on our Organization Manager, this kind of gives us the overall about that. We can download a current copy of our charter certificate. This should tell you who your Key 3 are along with contact information. So now here is a new section, payment information, and update with credit card. So here's how this is going to work, and then we'll look at some of these tools and explain as we're going along, is when it's time to re-register again, whether this is an adult or a youth, what will happen, unit not doing anything else, is, we're going to pick on me, Mark McGrain will get an email 30 days out saying, I am due to, my registration is due. And you'll click here to re-register. And of course, I can always, call the office and make a payment, but I'll be able to do this online if the unit has set certain areas up. After that, another one will come at approximately 15 days or 14 days, 7 days, 3 days out, 0 days, and then I believe they said +3, +7. So when you miss the registration deadline on that, in that process, I believe it's going to be right around the 14-day mark is when the Key 3 is put on the email as well. So if you get the email 30 days out, you haven't taken care of your own registration or your scouts at 7 days out or 14 days out, I'm sorry, is when I believe the Key 3 is going to be notified about it. And they get a subsequent email each time you get an email about it. And then at some point, our professional staff gets one as well, just checking to make sure somebody's not, having issues on here. Now, in order to re-register, you have to be current in youth protection. It will not, now, hopefully we all realize our council has an annual youth protection policy that says you have to be current in the year or for the 12 months of your registration. Entire time you're registered, you have to be current in youth protection. This system will not let you renew if your youth protection is not current. Um, and current during that registration period, because National does a 2-year one, right? But if it expires on there, then during that 12-month period, it won't take the registration until you do the youth protection. And since it's all online, you'll have to have taken it and the file will have to upload, and then we're good from there. I would not by any means wait to the very last time frame on this. Because that can create its own issues from there. We've seen ideally my desk scouting and uh, scouting you updates at the same time. There have been cases where the update doesn't happen and it shows that you're current in youth protection until the next day. Every night at midnight ish is when the whole system nationwide syncs up. We have seen a lot of times where these sync up right away and it catches it and you're good, but be aware it could be the very next day. So, don't wait till the last minute to get it in. So, an individual can go in for them or their scout and make the payment and basically be good from there. There are a few more steps, but we'll get to that. The unit can make the decision that they make the payments. Now, what that is in some units you have they pay for all the adults. Some pay for primary leadership. Some have scout accounts, and the kids and the leaders spend money out of their scout account and cover their registration. Some popcorn sales. If kids do so well, then the unit covers it or a portion of it. Well, in order for that to happen, there's a couple settings in here, but you have to put a credit card on file for that to happen. And there's one other spot for it, but at the same time, once you set it, there is no partial payment. So if your unit pays the entire thing for everybody, then turn the features on. If your unit pays partial on it, or you don't pay for everybody, then you're going to have to make a decision about, does your unit pay and then have people reimburse you, or do you have them pay and you reimburse them? There is no way on the system to make a partial payment. So even if I go to do my own renewal on there, it will only do the full amount. So that's going to be a key discussion that you and your committee should be having now about how are we going to be handling this. So once somebody has put in for registration or renewal, I should say, then the next step is it's not automatic right then. They put into it, but then they have to be approved by the unit still. So if it's an adult leader, committee chair or COR, depending on what settings you have set up in here, they will have to go through and approve the person. If it is a youth, then the scoutmaster, cubmaster, or crew advisor is going to have to go through and approve the scout. So nobody can just pay and be automatically in. You're approving them in their job and that they're still a part of your unit. You'll be able to go through it anytime and say, hey, we know Mark McGrain's left the unit. Do not send him renewal notices, and you'll be able to shut that off right away. Is the scoutmaster copied on all renewal notices? They are copied on, as we understand it right now, they are copied starting at the 14-day mark. The 30-day mark is to the person themselves, unless your unit says that they're paying for everybody, and then all notices, starting with the 30-day, go to the key 3. So if your unit says we're paying for everybody, Mark McGrain will never see a renewal notice. It will all come to those 3. If the unit does not select that, then I get my first 30-day, and then the key 3 get copied in on the ones after that. All right. So it's a little disjointed, but we're going to just follow this screen on down just because this is how it looks for you. So if I want to have it come through a credit card, then we update the credit card on file. Right now, it does not take bank accounts or electronic checks. It is credit or debit card is what gets taken in here. As we understand it right now, is this will get taken not when Mark McGrain goes and pays his renewal online. You have to approve me first. So when you, as an adult, we're just going to pick on Tim since he's the one who asked the question. He goes through and approves me as the adult in the unit still. After that approval, then shortly after that is when they will take the money. So, but you have to approve me first. So, and the same thing holds true with the youth. So down here, this has always been in this section with if your unit does online applications, and we're going to talk about this with this question. If your unit accepts online applications on your Be a Scout, then through here, who's approving the adults? So we all know that the COR has to approve any adults. However, National recognizes that not all CORs are very good with using a computer or do it in a timely fashion. So what they have is if your COR is actively involved in the unit, then you would have COR approval required. This means an application comes in online, they have to go on, log in themselves, go into Application Manager and approve it. Nobody else can. If your COR maybe is good with the computer or they're just not a computer person at all, but you use it and your committee chair has had conversations with them about the individuals, then you could have where the committee chair can do the approval. I know this says committee chair recommendation and COR approval required. What this means in actuality is that the COR can approve, I mean, the committee chair can approve an adult application. However, what is supposed to be happening is they are supposed to have the approval of the COR before they do it. This has only been put in there for units that have a chart organization rep that is not overly computer literate. So down here is the next one, automatically accept youth applications to this unit. What that means is if you have that checked is if you're accepting online applications and a youth goes in, it automatically gets approved. There is no pending approval. This is purely a unit decision on how you want to do this. Some units, obviously, like this one, does not have it turned on. Like to see the notice to make sure that they see it and talk to this person ahead of time to make sure they really did mean to click here and join and do the payment, because this is an application with payment is what happens online with an online application. Adult applications. Now this allows for adults to apply online to join your unit. Again, in the beascout.org, you can also go into your application manager and get direct links, QR codes, all of that good stuff. But this is what allows for that to happen. Now, here's the kicker, because we have these things as they show up. If you are going to, well, not if, this is another area to make a decision on, because in order for somebody to be able to pay the renewal online, you have to allow for online applications because it's an application. Even though it's a renewal, the system won't work if you don't accept adult applications. The youth ones are already there. But the adult ones, if you don't allow adult applications, they will not be able to renew online. What they would have to do then is it's time for the renewal is call this main office and make their payment over the phone or pay there. And same thing with the unit. You'd have to do the same thing because you will not be able to approve your adults. You won't have anybody on here because no one will have done their auto renewal. So it's going to, depending on how on top of things you are, this could throw a wrench in making sure all of your adults are approved in a timely fashion and that they don't miss on their registration period. Okay. Auto approve renewals. This is one of those things that just set by us letting you know it's there. It just means that there's not waiting for a council holdup on any of this. Right there, renewal payment. Unit will pay for renewal applications. If you're doing that, I, as a leader, will never see a registration notice. I, as a youth, will never, or a parent of a youth, will never see a registration notice. It'll all go to that area that we just talked about. Again, make sure you're having a conversation because this is an all or nothing. There is no partial payments on this. Now, this doesn't have to do with the online renewal system, just more of in case you've never looked at Application Manager before. So on the Application Manager, it will, if you're accepting applications online, it will automatically charge the national fee and the council program fee. You can also have an explanation if your unit does a program fee or whatever it may be. You can include an explanation of what it is because it will not be collected online. But the last thing you want is for the national system to collect registration, and then them come to your unit and find out there's another $50 owed that they knew anything about. So please make sure that if you're going to do something like this, that you just include fee and explanation, and you can generate your own welcome email. So you don't have to I mean, National creates one. There's a generic message in there for doing this. But if you'd like to create something a little bit more personal, this is where you're going to do that at. So when you make all these changes, click save, locks it into place. Now, for those who maybe have been looking at the screen with all that, you'll see that there is a unit renewal over here now. That wasn't there before. So this is showing not eligible for renewal at this time, chart organization, membership, who's all in there, editing positions if we're going to be doing that. Now, I will point out that wasn't there before. They haven't really mentioned much about it, but based on the new information that's out, my guess is my understanding, I shouldn't say my guess, my understanding is we just saw the last of internet advancement renewals of going and doing our charter renewal on there because they were taking all the membership out. What should be happening from here is when we're due for a renewal, there'll be a little button right up here that says click to renew. Boom, there we go. And that will process our renewal as long as everything's good. Being able to upload documents if we need to. I'm a little questioning about the documents because everybody's supposed to be currently registered. So there shouldn't be any documents to upload. So I think this is just going to be a click to renew button up here now. And that's where this is coming in from there. So we have that in there. So now I'm into roster. So far, this is all going from that one spot that we started off with the organization manager. So I'm just going to make my screen a little bit bigger here. Okay. So we're looking at this. If you haven't looked at your roster on My.Scouting before, obviously this looks different than Internet Advancement or your Scout Book one does. So there's one of our youth people. Oh, look, they're renewed. That's what the R stands for. They renewed their for the next charter year. So they're good. All the way over here is when does their renewal expire? When does their current registration expire? And mostly here's one at 11. This one was with a regular recharter. If we look at this unit, oh, here's one at 4:30. Well, I'll explain this in a minute. But most of these are here, but you could run into some as we start moving forward that have different dates on them. Now, this is an important area to pay attention to know what you're going to have for your renewals each month, or which you should be paying attention to, of course, right? Their ID number, whether they're youth or adult. Train patch means that they're fully trained in their position. Gender, renewal status is current. Now, opt out. What this is for is if somebody doesn't want to be part anymore, they've separated, they are not coming back. This is where the opt out comes from. We click in here to either one, renew the person, which we don't need to right now, edit profile to lock them out. Same thing if you've never been into this before, and I'm not going to pick on that person because I'm not showing their personal information, but I will pick on this person. So in here, if you've ever wondered how you change some contact information, this stuff at the top, you can't change. Council area position, except for the position, that changes in another area. We can add addresses, phone numbers, multiple phone numbers. You can designate, like this one's designated as a mobile number, but you can add a home, business, all of that. You can set which one's primary. You can delete them out, emails, all from there, and save changes. This is how you update things in case they can't update it themselves. Save change, because I didn't make any changes. And then as we're closer to that person, then that'll be there. Now, we scroll down. There was a reason Mark McGrain, that slacker, looks different. So this is saying initiated because mine's due on 4/30/24, but it has opt out of automatic renewal. I'm opted out of my automatic renewal because my primary is with the council. I'm actually multipled into this troop. So if you are dealing with people who are multipled, for those of you who dealt with internet rechartering, you'll remember that you needed to go through and tag each person as a multiple so that you weren't paying for them in that area. The system is finally caught up and it knows who's multiple. You don't have to worry about them. Their renewal sticks with there. The other change that this initiated is everybody, if you're a multiple, so well, we'll use me. So I'm a committee member here. I'm a council commissioner. I'm a merit badge counselor, and I'm a committee member in the boys troop. All of my registration dates have now been turned into the same date, which is the date in accordance with my primary. So if you are multipled in the past, you may have seen different dates depending on when you registered and joined that area. The system is now syncing them all, so it's automatically tied to what your multiple date, your primary date is. In turn, if you don't register in your primary, it will automatically remove you from all of your other ones. So this is where this is. It said it's initiated because I have started doing my online process for this one. Now I'm going to come down here. Membership renewal orders. This is brand new showing up on here. What this will be is you can see I'm sitting here because I initiated mine. It's waiting for something. I know it's waiting for the payment, but they can't do anything about it here because they can't approve it. And it tells you my youth protection. Oh, it's good. Initiated, paid, and then there would be an approval for them to approve, but they can't because again, mine is on a council level, not in the unit. So if this is a person in your unit, there would be an option for here for you to approve the person. Also down here is this is going to be the membership, the orders, and how many people you paid for. So basically, if you right clicked off on a bunch of people for the renewals, right? If you're handling them yourselves, right? So I'm just going to mask select everybody here. And I was going to click on this to renew all of them right now. That would be a batch order down here. So approve it and then batch order, and then I'm all set. So those are the screens that we need to look at. Now, how do we know? We're going to have to keep track of all this, right? So if I come here to reports, come down. Now, you will not see all the reports that I have. Again, I have other reports just because of my position I am, but you will see quite a few of these reports. So we've got the members due to renew. This report lists all members due to renew within 2 months or who are lapsed. So that'll let you know if you run it once a month or every other month, who's coming up on the next 2 months. We understand that there is supposed to be a report coming that will give you everybody and their dates. So that really run it once and you have it and just reprint the list whenever you get new members to join your unit. But right now, the one that's up as of right now is who's coming up within the next 2 months. So definitely a good tool to have there. Just important to know how that works. So I just want to take a look at a couple areas here as we talked about them. So your unit pin, while you're looking at all this stuff, this is your Be a Scout pin. You know, the biggest way BSA promotes and advertises units and joining units is through beascout.org. You should go in here once a year and check your Be a Scout information. So we allow for all units to update. We don't want to update your information. We want you to do it. It appears on Be a Scout. This unit allows people to apply online. If we only wanted it to be an invitation, then when I say invitation, ask for more information. But if you want them to be able to send in an application, there it is. You can update who to contact. By default, if you have never been in here, I believe it defaults to the Scoutmaster, Cubmaster, Crew Advisor. If your unit has their own website, you can put it in here. And here is some information that you can put up so that they see it right off the bat to display. On this side, this is what the information's on the pin. Again, the request more information, that sends an email through invitation manager here. The apply now, since we accept online applications, that button shows up. Do we want people to see our address, contact person's name, phone number? What do you want them to see? And obviously, we don't have a unit website, so we turn that off. Um, Here's the other one you really want to check. If you haven't been in here, this unit meeting address, it defaults to who you're chartered by. So if you are, like us, chartered by one group, but you meet in another spot, you're going to want that to be accurate and edit that so people know where the meeting address is. Because again, on Be a Scout, it will give them a Google pin for this. And we want to make sure that they have the right information. So at least once a year, you should go in and check this. And at the same time, you know, you need to have the applications turned on to allow your people to renew. So, I'm hoping that they'll not force that one, that's just as they're getting the tweaks done, but not quite yet. So, those positions we talked about. So, there's position manager. This tends to get restricted for who has access, but we have registered roles. Again, it's adults. You'll see I don't have the ability to move anybody around. Um, that is into certain areas that they can change the positions on these things. So, but that's how those would work. Is you'd have this drag, click, drag it over, put them in their next area. These are registered positions: committee chair, committee members, charter reps, assistant scoutmaster, uh, so on and so forth. Here, then we have what are called the functional roles. Functional roles is like the COR, they can have a delegate in there, and that's somebody who can have access to help out, with internet rechartering with the adult approval. T3 delegate, there's 3 of those spots that are there. Again, you can't lessen this one down. Registration inquiry won't work for you. That's a national one. It's just featured in there for the professional staff and employee staff, but it won't show anything for us. Just one of those things they didn't hide. Unit advancement chair. This is how your advancement chair actually gets access. So you can add tools into Scoutbook and Internet Advancement for them to get full access. You can also give them the functional role of advancement chair in here. Training chair gives them access to your training manager. Treasurer is, in Scoutbook dealing with the finances. Unit protection champion lets them have access to the youth protection records. Just click on the plus sign to add. You will have access to any adult registered in that unit. And then you can add them in, and it puts them in, and clicking on the minus gets rid of them. So that is our position manager that's in there. So we're going to go back over to the unit here again, and I just got to switch it because it always defaults back to my area. So we talked about the application manager and invitation manager. I just want to show you those real quick since they're so integrated. And please feel free, if you have questions, start typing them in. So application manager. So what this is for is you had to designate who gets this information, right? So when an application comes in, you will get a notice, or whoever the designee is, that, hey, you've got an application that's sitting here. And this kind of gives you a track along how many applications total come in 90 days, application in progress, which means it's not finalized yet, closed, it's been finished one way or another, and completed, we're done. So this gives you just kind of quick reference of how it looks. Again, staging, you can see who the people are. Color coding, this looks really weird for a unit we just stay right on top of it. And a color matrix. You know what? Let's change this. Because it really doesn't look any different from council versus, whoops. Doesn't help if I click on the council again. Let's go to the council application manager. There we go. So you can see online, this is how many applications. And if you get these numbers for your unit, you're doing awesome. That's just thrilling. But now you can see, like what's going on. And if I view, there are people where their stages are at. It gives us color coding through here to see what's going on. So we can just very quickly see how the applications are coming along and being processed. And then down in here, you can see that this coding is a youth. This one is an adult, different color, different head shape. And then this is they color code the status that it's at. Now you don't have the other stuff on there because that's more dealing with just a unit, but this is a very quick way to see where things are at. On invitation manager, again, it'll look the same for the count for your unit one, just so we can see stuff. So on this, at the council level, so leads, these are invitations, right? So if somebody were to click for more information on your Be a Scout pin, that generates a lead. That's an open lead. If you want to kind of keep all this information in one spot, you could add a lead and type somebody in. So let's say you have a unit open house and you get some families that come in, they give you some contact information. You could put it in there to track them and how this has been going along and how long it's been since contact and invitations being sent and what happened. And this will also kind of give you an idea of how your leads got going. And I'm just working my way down through the screen. It will also have your QR code. So if you want to put your QR code that goes directly to your Be a Scout pin on your brochures, flyers, whatever the case may be, there it is for download. You also have a URL link. So if you have an email notice or Facebook or something else you want to include the URL, there it is, copy URL, and you'll have that. So you could do both. They both lead to the same thing, which is your Be a Scout pin. And then down here just tells you how this is going along. And I'm just going to pick on a name here, but I can send an email to them, which kind of tracks along how we're doing things. I can also send an application. So here's the problem. Your unit, you can send the application, but if your unit doesn't have applications turned on, it doesn't work. So don't send the application if you're not using applications. And then, of course, with everything else, there is a variety of reports that go along to kind of track on how this goes. So, again, mine have a few more reports than yours, but they are there for your unit. Okay. So that is our stuff from there. But what I really want you to keep in mind here is get in, take a look, start figuring out what areas you want to be on, because it will not be that long before you're gonna have to have decisions, or they're made for you, right? If you don't select anything, then it goes to the person. And then again, you've got the decision of if your unit pays some or all of the fees, how is that being reimbursed to them? So I would strongly encourage getting in there now and figuring out with the unit how you're going to address those questions. So with that being said, that's everything I have for this new renewal process that's going on. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns? I'll give it a minute for someone to, type in a question, raise their hand, whatever the case may be here. Okay. No? Well, thank you again. If you do, please reach out to myself, your district commissioners, your unit commissioners, professional staff. We're here to help you out and get you through these things as we come up, find out more tools. We're happy to promote and get these things out there to you. What we're doing is getting ready here to break out to the. Oh, Brad.
Mark, if I can jump in quick.
Absolutely.
I want to echo and strengthen Mark's comments. One of the things that drives me and frustrates me the most is when we get calls from someone who's been battling some system and to the point of frustration. Don't bang your head against the wall. If you're having challenges, if you're having issues, if you just have questions, please reach out. Reach out to Mark, reach out to your district executive, reach out to your commissioner, who probably will end up calling Mark. Call me. Don't struggle. There's a lot changing with the registration system. Use us as your resource before you get too frustrated and before you've spent a lot of time banging your head on the wall. We are here to help.
Absolutely. Okay, so for the question that just came in from Dan, will it charge automatically charge a credit card. It will ask for approval first. So what's supposed to be happening from here is once you, either way, I guess the answer here is you've updated, you have a unit card on file, or if you don't do the payments, if it goes to the individual, once like I get the registration on it, uh, yeah, I'll address that one in just a second. So once national, yeah, national. Once you have me as an individual, I get my recharter or my registration notice. Oh, that's something to show you. Our registration notice. Then I put in my credit card for the payment. My youth protection has to be current and good through the whole time. Then it goes to my unit for them to approve. Once they click approve, it's charging my card. I've already given the approval because I put my card in and I had to click the box for it. If you did this spot on update unit credit card, you put one in there and you're set for automatic payments. So back here, you'll pay for the renewal applications. Once on getting over to our roster, once I tell it to renew on these people, so down through here, it's going to charge your card right then. So you've given the approval. So it won't ask for another set of approval once the leader's been approved or the scouts have been approved. Uh, and yes, the question came up here, or the comment came up, that national bid for most issues stopped giving member care in, I think it was before 21. So, right, we are your primary resource on all things tech. So, we're here to help you out and take care of things, but we do have limitations. Now, one of the first areas I suggest going to is on our council website under resources, online support tools, and this is being heavily revamped, but a bunch of help topics on My Scouting, Scoutbook, event registration, video conferencing, online training. But just on the online support tools, we have a spot to, you can submit a ticket and fill out, this is my problem. This is what's going on. I just, I can't get this working. We have a few volunteers who specialize in different systems, such as My Scouting, Scoutbook, Internet Advancement, Blackpug, which is our event registration software. And we're here to help you out, even the Scouting U training. We're here to help you out. And if you are a person who knows even one of those systems really well, please let us know. We're happy to have more people who are willing to answer questions and provide support. Realize one of our biggest limitations here is we cannot take care of your password for you. The most we can do is force a password reset, but we cannot go in and say, hey, this is your password. We can't even tell you this is your username. We can force a password reset on it. So that would be it. What you would want to do, though, see if it pops up on when I get to home here. Hang on a minute. Might not be. Oh, this chat icon right down here. So if you come to log in My Scouting and can't remember it, and same thing with Scoutbook. Scoutbook will take you to My Scouting because they're integrated now for the same logins. You can click on that and right where it has password reset, if you don't remember the email you logged in with, that's a problem. But you can work your way through this. And, I don't remember my username. I don't remember my email. It's going to ask, in the end, I'll ask a couple of basic questions. One, what's your member ID number? And then, you'll generally address and date of birth just to confirm it's you. And it will then log you into your My Scouting account so that you can go up here and reset your username and password. Now, I am sure every single one of you keeps a copy of your member ID number or your membership card that you can print from here in your wallet or your purse that you can always reference that number. I'll give the minute for a moment for the laughing to die down. So any member of your key three, your unit, people of our tech team, and the professional staff can tell you what your ID number is. So if you're having a hard time getting in, we can look that up for you and give it to you so that you can get yourself logged in. My profile reports one email address. Yeah, I'm not sure. I get that one. I understand. Hang on a second, Tim. I'm going to have you explain that one to see if I can help clarify that because I'm not sure what you're trying to say.
Just mentioning, if you click the My Profile link at the bottom, it'll report your email addresses that are registered. It'll tell you where that password reset is going to go if you still
Oh,
have access to the stuff. But again, this if you don't know how to get your own email you're going to be kind of stuck here.
yeah.
Uh, most everything's two-factor authorization nowadays, so I guess you could get into your email address eventually to find your password reset prompt. But
Yeah.
yeah, if you completely forgot what you registered it with, was it your Gmail? Was it your work mail? Was it something else? Oh boy, yeah. Good luck finding where that password reset email went.
So actually, I can help with that one too. So we, and I'm just going to pick on, professional staff, support staff, and I'm just gonna pick on me because council level the council access I have. Your district commissioners, same thing. So I can go to a roster. So you'll see right now I'm at Five Rivers Council. I can go into the roster. Now, to begin with, this is defaulting me at the council level, right? That's where you're seeing it at. I can select organization level. This is one, and this is a tool I use. And again, I'm going to be very specific in where I pick. Come on. Ugh. Navigate. So I just want to show you, see if I got down here and you already saw that I can get into this profile. Now you saw I did this all not from my registration as a key three delegate in this unit. I'm doing this from my council access. That's the that's the email that's being used for my scouting because it's set as primary. So if you and this is why it's always important to update your information because whatever's here is there. We're in my scouting. All this is tied into this. So it's really important that changes get made and updated. Because to your point, some people have 3 or 4 emails. What one's it going to? Do they even have access to that anymore? So, but we can tell you what email it went to. So even if you don't see it on there or you don't know which one it's even trying, we can tell you. For registrants that will pay their renewal on their own, will there be a notification? Yes, because you have to approve it. So you'll get a notification. So the question is if we don't do the payment ourselves as a unit and it goes to them as an individual, will we get told about it? Yes. The correct leadership, so for a youth, Scoutmaster, Cubmaster, crew advisor, for an adult committee chair, COR, we'll get an email saying Mark McGrain has paid, go in and approve it. And then you'll get notified that there's somebody sitting there. All I'm going to say with that one is that's what we were told, but obviously none of us have been through this process yet to see it in action. So this is how it's explained. We will see when it comes up. I would just, make sure in the initial until we have some volunteers on that one that, as you're getting close that you actually go in and check from time to time. Now, for the individual, so we're back to my homepage, right? I get the email that says it's there, that I have a payment coming due. This is for an individual. Go up to menu, my application. So from here on memberships, this was listing all my memberships earlier. Of course, it's not right now. If I wanted to transfer or multiple somewhere, I can do it here. If I have any that are pending approval, that's what it's there. My renewal. So I wonder if it's not showing that because I got it set in the process. So you'll have a notification icon up here telling you it's this, and you can click to go directly to it. But if you leave and don't finish it, you can come here. See, I can change my primaries in here. So there's my committee member. I can set that as primary if I wanted to. I can also change any of the other ones, right? I can't make mayor badge councilor primary. That's not how mayor badge councilor works. Council member at large, and here's if I withdraw renewal. So show you how this works. Bye-bye. All right. So I come in here and let's take a look, see if it shows my memberships again. Yeah, of course not. So my renewals, this will tell you where you're going for. I can opt out myself. I can say, nope, don't renew me. I am done with you guys. Brad has annoyed me enough at these board meetings. So I'm not renewing. I can set my own opt out, so I won't be able to be eligible. I can start my renewal process. What am I renewing? So here's a listing of everything I'm at. I can remove something because I don't want to be it anymore. I can change my primary on it. Now, again, changing primary means you have to have, someone in the unit approve and all that, which they're still going to have to do once they're here. And then the very next spot is go to payment. You got to agree to the scout oath, all say everything we've had on it in the past. Okay. Go to checkout summary. And you'll see why I didn't do this yet. Because none of this is right. Because I am not a learning for life exploring adult. So that's why I didn't complete my thing. But then here's where I can put in my card information and place the order. And then it would go for the person at my level to take care of my payment or to approve me as an adult. So that's what has to go from there. So I'm just going to restart renewal so that it actually clears this out because I've already contacted the council to do it. So that's how an individual does theirs. So, okay. With that, barring any other questions, comments, concerns, I'd like to thank everybody for coming. We'll be sending you all to your